What's up, boys? How we doing?
Doing good.
Just living the dream, Dylan.
Yeah,
Just living the dream.
living the dream. Welcome back to all our amazing followers and viewers. Welcome back to the TJD Sports Podcast. It's a little bit different tonight. We're doing it on a Friday night instead of a Saturday morning. Um, but we're still gonna bring the action. We're still gonna have the excitement and everything, even though it's a different day. Uh, Boys, we got big day of college football for us tomorrow. Then we got another uh, NFL weekend that some of us are more excited than others about at this point in the season.
Yeah.
Got some big things that happened throughout the week also already this week that can't wait to touch on. We got some new starting quarterbacks. We got some trades. And we got some football, baby. All right.
It's always a great
Now,
day when there's football going on.
it's time. Yeah, you can never complain. There's actually, I think, Boise State and UNLV are playing tonight. So it's a game, but the World Series is going on. I'm a Yankees fan, so that's going to be what I'm more interested in at this point in time. But, y'all ready to get into some college football?
Let's get it.
Okay, there we go. Jacob, what you got for us?
Yeah, man. I mean, we got 12, or we had 10 games going on this week. I think that's going to be the highlight of the week. I know there's going to be a couple other games mixed up. We got Notre Dame, Navy, Washington, Indiana, Illinois, Oregon, BYU, UCF, Missouri, and Alabama, Texas, Vanderbilt, Florida State, Miami, Penn State, Wisconsin, LSU, and the Aggies, and Michigan State and Michigan. Dylan, would you like to start us off in that list, man?
Some pretty big games. The first one, right off the bat at 11 o'clock. Massive matchup for a lot of reasons. You got number 12 Notre Dame sitting with one loss, going to number 24 Navy. Right? Do you have it in order of like these teams are going to each other?
Yeah.
Is that how you have it laid out
Yep.
for us?
Away teams are on the left,
Okay,
home
okay.
teams
So
on the
they're
right.
traveling to Navy. Perfect. Perfect. Just wanted to make sure that I wasn't giving any misinformation. But it's huge for a massive reason, and that's because Navy's fighting for the Group of 5 playoff spot. As we know, um, for those of you who don't know, conference
Little
champion
technical difficulty.
gets an
real
automatic
quick.
bid into the playoffs.
Dylan.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah,
You keep
Is
lagging.
this mine, or is that all of us?
It's
no,
just you.
yeah, it's just you. You just like you were
Oh,
just
no,
talking,
can y'all
and then
hear me?
all of a sudden it was just.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna go from where I think y'all heard last. So, big game for a lot of reasons. Am I back? Am I back good? Can y'all hear me good? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all gotta give me some feedback so I know if y'all can hear me. Navy's fighting for that Group of 5 playoff spots, the automatic spot, because as you know, the highest ranked Group of 5 team is guaranteed a playoff spot. Conference champions for the Power 4 obviously make it in. Then it's your remaining seeds plus the highest Group of 5. So this is a huge game for Navy. Undefeated, obviously looking for that. So Notre Dame's favored by 13.5, and I don't love that, to be quite honest with you boys. I think, we saw Notre Dame fall to Northern Illinois earlier in the year. We could be looking at another upset.
We could be seeing another upset in this one. I mean, Navy's a good ball club, as we can already see, and so you're going. So
Dylan's just like,
you're going with my midshipman, huh?
Me?
Yeah.
What is Tyler? What, am I like cutting out really bad or something? What are y'all?
No,
what
no,
are y'all
Dylan. When you're just sitting there and you're just like, your face
Tyler,
just
what-
freeze. You freeze, and then next thing you know, it's just like you freeze. You're like, it's cracking me up.
Oh gosh. So
Oh.
Dylan, who do you like in this
I'm
game?
sorry for the technical difficulties. I don't know what's happening. Boys, I think I'm going to have to go with Navy here. Um, I think I've been saying it all year. Got to stick with it at this point. I've been saying Army and Navy's going to be a game for the playoffs.
There he is.
I'm just frozen. I don't know what y'all. I don't know what y'all want to do at this point.
I think we just need to
It's gonna
rock
be
with it.
rough if it
Honestly.
does this the whole time.
We just need to. I think we just need to rock with it.
I don't. I mean, I'm gonna get cut off in the middle of. I'm gonna get cut off in the middle of every topic. It sounds like. So I don't know. All right. Well,
I
I'm
mean, you're
picking
fine
Navy.
right now.
That's basically what I said. Okay. Well, I picked Navy. I'm not repeating all that again.
JP, who you going with?
Am I still cut, y'all?
It comes and goes. I think I'm gonna rock with touchdown Jesus on this one and Notre Dame. I feel like Notre Dame's just got too much of higher skill players than Navy does. I mean, that upset I love a lot, but I just feel like Notre Dame's gonna be too overpowered. So I'm gonna go with touchdown Jesus.
I'm gonna go with Notre Dame as well, JP. I would now. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see Navy win this game, but like you said, I feel like Notre Dame's gonna. They've kind of caught their groove right now, and I mean, I'm not saying Navy's playing bad by any means, but it'll be a fun one to watch for sure.
So yeah, next game we got Washington and Indiana. College game day is going to Bloomington. I feel like that's going to be a very high intense game for Indiana, especially for that fan base there for the first time going there. Uh, I mean, we said it last on Tuesday and last Saturday. Indiana's a very high intense offense, and then I don't know. Washington seems like they're having a down year, and so I like Indiana in this one. I think that they're going to beat them by more than 5, especially with it being at home and a college game day setting.
Yeah, like Indiana is just
Yeah.
they're fun to
No,
watch.
I agree. I think. Yeah.
They're just fun to.
Indiana dismantled. Yeah, they dismantled a Nebraska team. So, a good Nebraska team. So I think they're gonna keep it going, dominate Washington.
Yeah, it's plus you got college game day there, and it's the atmosphere is going to be crazy. It's Washington. Washington's not Benton is not the Washington that they were last year, and it'll be. I think Indiana will win this one by pretty good amount. So I'm gonna go with Indiana. If
So
that wasn't
clean sweep on the Hoosiers. Alrighty, Brock.
What's up, JP?
All right, Illinois and Oregon. We got number 20 Illinois versus number 1 Oregon. Oregon is a 21.5 point favorite. They just came off a massive win against Ohio State at home, and they're going to come off on another big win. So who we like in this matchup?
Go ahead, Dylan. I'll let you start off.
For those of you who don't know, fans out there, we have a color-coordinated Google Doc.
Oh, my
and we're
bad.
supposed to speak when it's our color, and Tyler was supposed to speak on that color, so so that's what just happened here. We were waiting for Tyler to say something, and he just didn't. So, and then he was supposed to talk first, and then he deflected it to me. Anyways,
No, here I'll go. I'll go. When I looked at it, I thought the color was down one. Like for some reason in my brain, it just clicked that. Okay, that's on me. Hand up accountability. I'm gonna take full responsibility of that. I think I think this is going to be a lot closer of a game than what everybody is expecting it to be, because Oregon is favored at 21 and a half points. Uh, I think Oregon's going to win this game, but I don't think it's going to be by much. I think it's going to be a very, very close game.
Yeah, I mean, Illinois is coming off a big win at home against Michigan. And so it wasn't very good offensively. They looked good enough to win it, but they didn't look good overall, in my opinion, especially against a very high-powered offense and defense of Oregon. So I think Oregon's going to win this one. I don't know if they cover the spread of 21, but I think they win by 2 scores.
Yeah, I can see that happening, but it's still going to be. I feel like it's going to be like those 2 scores. It's going to come down like Oregon's probably going to be up by like 7, and then Illinois will throw like a pick, and it becomes a.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be definitely a higher scoring game. I think Oregon's finally found that rhythm for their
Yeah.
team. And so I think it's just going to be very painful for Illinois going into Eugene.
Oh yeah, it is. Isn't it? Yeah. Welcome back, Dylan.
Hey, there he is.
Hello.
I switched Wi-Fi to try and hopefully get a stronger connection.
Well,
See if
I'm gonna
that
be
works.
honest with you. It's already 10 times better than what it was.
I don't know what's happening, boys, but we're just gonna roll with it. Hopefully it's better now. It seems better on my end, cause y'all. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That whole time, I couldn't understand a single word y'all were saying either. So I was just kind of jumping in when I felt like it. But then I knew at the same time that Tyler was supposed to speak and wasn't, so I had to call that out. Like he deflected it to the guy that was having the worst signal ever instead of talking when he was supposed to talk. But I don't know if y'all are still on the Oregon game, but I'm just gonna go
Yes,
ahead
we
and
are.
tell y'all. I think Oregon's gonna come out. They new #1 team in the country. Sometimes that bites some teams because you know you get labeled the best team in the country, and then sometimes you don't always play up to that when you first become the #1 team. But they are finally playing Oregon football that Oregon wants to play. They're dominating how we expected them to. Illinois is very good team. Um, Illinois is just they're just coming up against a tough matchup right here, and it's at Oregon. I agree, Tyler. I don't think it's going to be 21 and a half differential. I would definitely take the under in that spread, but I think Oregon's going to walk out of there um, pretty happy with how they play tomorrow. I'm going to pick the Ducks.
And before we move on to this next game, how about there's been 4 #1 rankings changed
Yeah.
in already this season?
And
I
I'm
mean,
sure
it started off with Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely.
I mean,
I think
just
there's gonna be more.
Yeah, I don't think
just a crazy year.
no #1 team is safe right now.
Yep.
No.
But all right. So next game, it's a team that's again feel like a broken record every week, but I'm just so big on this team. New #11 team in the country, BYU, going to the University of Central Florida. Um, I this is a tougher test than some people realize. Anytime you go on the road in a conference matchup, it's not easy. But Central Florida, they've been pretty good in recent years. I think it's kind of crazy that Central Florida's favored in this game by 2.5. I think that's a little disrespectful to BYU for how good BYU's been. Um, so I think I think that's free money to take BYU money line. I mean, if they're going to be the underdogs in this game, I mean BYU, they've just they've looked really good this year, and I don't think Central Florida is going to be the team that steps in the way of them at this point in time. So I'm taking BYU.
I mean, I'm still gonna have BYU as my Big 12 champion. Besides, it's gonna be BYU and Iowa State, but I still like BYU. They even though they had a hiccup game last week against a really good Oklahoma State team that can't seem to figure it out. I feel like they found a way to win in a crucial situation, and so I think they take that momentum going into UCF, and I think they win a big one down there.
Like we've said every talk about college football, we are all so high on BYU, and I'm not going to change it up. Like we're just going to go with a clean sweep right here, and we're going to hopefully, like Dylan
I'm
said, it's very
sorry.
different.
I'm sorry. I'm sitting here laughing. The last time I bring this up, I thought it was so funny. Tyler, it was your turn to speak. And Jacob's like, "All right, Tyler," and you're like, "What's up, Jacob?" Instead of talking, you're like, "What's up, Jacob?" It's like having a conversation. Like he's trying to nudge you in the right direction. And then you just like were oblivious. Like, "Oh, what's up, Jacob?" Oh, that's not what he's asking. No. Okay, that was it.
Oh
Well,
man.
I was just laughing at that internally, and I want y'all to know why I was sitting here laughing, not being goofy. But all right. Anyways,
Alrighty.
Well, okay. Well, I'm gonna go with BYU. my train of thought was I was on such a roll, and then all of a sudden Dylan just starts geeking over there like he is right now. I mean, Dylan's about to start wheezing.
I feel like this show's just gone to complete mess with the whole first 10 minutes of it being just the worst internet connection.
Alrighty. Well,
We're gonna title this episode Wi-Fi or lack thereof.
alrighty. We got next big game. We got another ranked game matchup here. We got 21 Mizzou going to Tuscaloosa against number 15 Alabama. Alabama's a 17.5 point favorite after coming off a loss against Tennessee. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one, guys.
Why? I want to know where Vegas came up with the 17.5 point favorite. What has Alabama shown them that's made them think like, oh yeah, this team's gonna come in here and beat anybody by 17.5 at this point in time? I mean, that's crazy. I know Missouri hasn't been having the best season either. I mean, they're a one-loss team. They're not having a Florida State kind of season where Florida State was supposed to be a top 10 team and just has been horrible. Missouri was a number 9 team at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
They haven't been playing up to that level, but they're still 17.5 point favorite against an Alabama team that's been not very good the past few games. I think that's an easy. Even if Missouri doesn't win, 17.5 is crazy. I don't care if it's at home either, but I think Jacob just made the selection for me, so I gotta roll with it. I'm gonna go with the Missouri Tigers. I hadn't decided yet, but I can't make him turn it back now.
Oh yeah, you can. Hey man, I was just going off of what you were sharing.
No, I messed with you. No, I said it last week. I don't think Alabama's. That's my hot take. I don't think they're going to finish in the top 25, and I think it starts this week. I think Missouri is going to roll into Alabama and just keep pouring it on the old Crimson Tide. And I hope I'm actually pulling from Missouri in this game, so we'll see.
I think it's gonna. We're either gonna get one or two Alabama teams. They're gonna either come out and they're just going to click on all cylinders and show that be the Alabama of old, and they're frankly I feel like they're just gonna be pissed off from last week. I feel like, but I also feel like they could come in and keep getting beat because Jalen Milroe has not looked good in the past several weeks, and I'm pulling for the Tigers. I want Missouri to win. I it's a great day watching Alabama win every week. And I could get used to it, and it's gonna.
Ah,
I think. He's gonna get sacked again. Dylan, you gotta stop laughing. You're gonna make me. You keep making me laugh.
your sound effects are funny to me.
Ah.
Yeah. Jacob, what do you
Oi.
think? Who you got?
I don't know, man. I mean, this is kind of just. As I know both teams are ranked. You got Bama at 15, Mizzou at 21. I mean, in my opinion, these teams just haven't looked good to either be ranked 15 or 21, in my opinion. And so I think the 17-point spread is a massive gap for what I think this game's going to be. I think it's probably going to be another one-score game. That would be the deciding factor of this game. I think just because it's going to be in Tuscaloosa, I'm going to have to roll with Alabama just because I think they'll get that edge with it being at home. And I hate to say it because I hate Alabama, but I think it's just going to be at home. It's going to be an afternoon game. I think I'm going to have to roll with Alabama on this one.
I understand completely.
You're gonna roll with the Tide, huh?
Yeah, that's enough out of you. You're the one that said you love watching them win.
Whoa.
When did you say this?
Yeah,
Bo said it like 30 seconds ago. We can rewind the film.
no, buddy. I said I love watching Alabama lose every weekend, and I feel like they're going to continue to do so because Dylan didn't even hear me say win.
That's fine. We can go back and rewatch the film.
Yeah, we need Zach to go ahead and clip that because if I said that, then I'm just gonna go and
Is Zach here? Do we have Zach with us? What?
I think so. He said he was gonna watch, so we'll see if he's actually paying attention or not.
Oh, good.
I know. Cade, my buddy Cade's watching.
Oh, I'm sorry, Cade. We've had some technical.
Hey, he texted me earlier whenever your Wi-Fi was going in and out. He texted me. He said, "Poor Dylan."
Cade, I hope this isn't your first episode.
No, he's been a frequent flyer on the channel and been watching us several times. So shout out to Young Tilt for being a supporter.
Jacob, do you think he notices?
I do notice because the next game up is the Texas and Vandy game. Yeah, I was paying attention that time. Yeah, we were just mixing in a little conversation here today, boy. Look here, Texas
put it in black for you so you can't read it.
Texas is favored by 18.5, and you know what? Vandy has proven, and this is at Vanderbilt. Let this be known too. Vandy has proven that they are not a team that you can just roll in and we're going to put up 40 points in the first half. So you know what? We're gonna put the horns down. We're going to rock with Vandy this weekend. They are gonna beat Texas in Nashville this weekend, and I'm a firm believer in it. And you can mark my words. And if I hope they do. I wasn't
You're so confident, and douche real quick.
Because I was gonna say something else if they don't win. I was gonna do something, but I'm not gonna do that.
Tyler, I'm just gonna let you know right now. I don't think 18.5 is enough. I think Texas is gonna come in there and they're just gonna stomp Vanderbilt's dream season. I think Vandy doesn't even stand a chance in this game. I think this has a different feel. I mean, it's Texas. They're mad about what happened last week. Vanderbilt's not in Georgia. We're just gonna let's just come on. Vanderbilt's already had their dream season. You know, they could lose out the rest of the way. They're gonna be happy with what they've done. I'm not saying they will lose out the rest of the way. They just struggled last week against
Ball State.
A Ball State team that isn't a good football team. Pavia is very good. He's a playmaker, a difference maker on that team even, but Vanderbilt's not going to keep doing what they've been doing. I think 18.5 could be low for what happens in this game.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think I'm gonna have to back you up on that one, Dylan. I mean, I think Texas is ticked off.
Get a load of
What's he
this
doing?
guy. What is this guy doing? What-
It sounded like he said Vanderbilt instead of Vanderbilt. Like he was caught between Vanderbilt and Vandy, and he said Vanderbilt.
I said
Then
Vandy Will.
oh well.
this guy,
Vandy Will.
this
I
guy
mean,
over here is just not locked in right now.
This guy.
Anyways, give me Texas in this one, man. I think it's going to be a beatdown. Vanderbilt's going to be knocked out of here pretty quickly. Like I especially after seeing last week's performance where they had an opportunity to beat up on a smaller MAC team, and so I think Texas is mad. They're gonna try to prove a point today, or not today, but tomorrow.
Right.
So, so give me the horns.
Well, this is another one I think is going to be a pretty lopsided game. Florida State rolls into Miami. We've seen how Florida State's season's gone. I don't think it's going to get any better tomorrow. They're not good at all. I mean, Miami, Cam Ward is just going to pick apart this Florida State defense, do whatever he pleases. I'm actually going to try and watch this game because, you know, Cam Ward and all. Got to figure out if I like him as a quarterback for my own NFL reasonings. But I think Miami's just going to there's nothing that Florida State's going to be able to do to slow them down. And their offense is not good. Garbage, even some would say. I don't think they're gonna put up much of a fight tomorrow. So Miami by a lot. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I think Miami's still got a lot of issues on the defensive side of the ball. I don't think, with it being a rivalry game, I don't think Miami wins by 21. I think it's going to be a lot closer because I know Florida State's still good defensively. Their offense is what's shot them in the foot all season, in my opinion. And so I think I like Miami in this game, but I think it's going to be closer than 21.
Yeah, I agree. I think I just like Dylan said. I think Miami is it's just going to be a lopsided game to watch. And Cam Ward is. I mean, they've been playing some close games with some teams that they should have been blowing out, but I think that Florida State is just not. They're not going to give Cam Ward any fits, and Miami's going to roll through it. And it's going to be very lopsided. I'm sorry.
I mean, this guy. Good grief.
I apologize to
So
anybody that's watching. That was just a mid yawn, and I just tried to keep rolling with what I was saying, so I didn't lose my train of thought, and it just did not sound right. So I'm just plain and simple. I'm going Miami.
All right, just because of that, you're going Florida State.
Whoa, there, buddy. I did not say that.
So yeah, I mean, we're going to go back to the Big Ten. It's a kind of a matchup. Tyler's NCAA team versus Penn State. I mean, if this was on the NCAA game, I'm definitely hammering Penn State.
Whoa, that's wild because I would be too.
But
Penn
no,
State
I
by
mean,
50.
then do what?
I said Penn State by 50 if I'm playing.
Nah, the Nittany Lions, I mean, they're not a great team. I think they're kind of very similar to Texas, in my opinion. I mean, they play somewhat challenging defenses, and they haven't played well. So I think the spread is where it should be, in my opinion. But I still like Penn State in this one. I think Wisconsin is going to play them well, but I think Penn State comes out with a win.
Yeah, I've actually been. Y'all know I've been high on Penn State this year, and I think that this is the year they finally make their way into the playoffs. But I was debating. I actually thought earlier today. I was like, I think Wisconsin's gonna win this football game, and but I just don't. Now that I'm live in the flesh, I'm thinking, actually no. I think Penn State's gonna put up that dominant performance we've been waiting on. I think it starts this week. They get that ball rolling, and then they roll all the way until they get to the Ohio State game. And we're gonna see what this team is made of. I think they're just gonna put a little bit of a statement win tomorrow. I think 6.5. I think I'd say it's gonna be more like 10, a 10-point win, but I think it's gonna look like a dominant 10-point win. I think the defense is really gonna show out in this game.
See, I like where the spread's at. I like the 6.5. Um, Wisconsin's 5-2. I mean, it's not like they're just like my Wisconsin team where we lose every other game. But like they're see, okay, lock it in. But I'm honestly I'm gonna go with Wisconsin. I feel like Penn State's just they've been playing some games that they like how Miami's been doing, where they've been playing some games that they should be winning by a lot more, and they haven't been. But they have been winning, which. But I feel like Wisconsin could do it, especially with it being at Wisconsin. So I'm gonna go with the Badgers.
Now, keep in mind, Wisconsin did get blown up by Alabama
They did get blown out by Alabama, but
and USC.
we'll see. We'll see what happens. I got to be different. We can't agree all on the same thing. But I think Wisconsin.
Oh, I'm not fighting for your answer here. I was just giving you facts.
I know. They're facts I knew too, buddy, and I still pick Wisconsin.
Go Badges.
Go Badges. All right, boys. We got LSU and Texas A&M. You guys like the 1 point spread right there?
I mean, I feel
I
like those
actually
kind of
don't mind
spreads.
I think it's going to be a very, very good game. Like, I'm gonna go with Texas A&M. It's at Texas A&M, and I just feel that they're rolling right now. They've gig them.
All right. Well,
I like the 1 point spread. I don't know. There's just something about the Texas A&M playing at A&M. It's hard going in there, just like it is playing at LSU. But we'll see. Like this should be a really hard test for LSU to see if they can go into a hard environment and play their best football.
yeah. I actually think this game has been the toughest game to pick from our slates today, because both teams are pretty similar in how their seasons have gone.
Mhm.
They both lose week 1 in very big matchups. It's not like they were cupcake losses. They both had a premier matchup to start the season. They both lost. Obviously, A&M lost to Notre Dame. LSU lost to USC. I think it does matter that it's at A&M. 12th man is a really tough place to play, but I think Nussmeier is going to be the difference maker in this game. I think LSU has their next really good quarterback. They just seem to keep finding good quarterbacks the past few years, and I think Nussmeier is going to be a really highly rated NFL prospect. I don't think he's going to go this year. I think he's going to come back another year. But with that being said, for those reasons, I am going to take the Tigers in this game.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, this game is a very close game, and as you can see, the spread 1 point spread for A&M favor. There's not going to be a lot of room for error, I feel like, in this game. I feel like it's going to be the difference of who can limit turnovers, who can get turnovers, who can limit penalties, everything. I think that's what, and possession and stuff like that. And so,
Yeah.
I like LSU in this one. I've been riding with them since Ole Miss, and so I think they're rolling right now. No discredit to A&M. I feel like they're rolling as well. But I just feel like LSU is going to have the upper hand on this. I think they're going to kind of go in and just say, hey, we're the better team, and we're just going to control the game from here on.
Yeah. Now, I will say, so I think LSU is going to win. As a college football fan, I don't know why, but since the beginning of the season, I have been very excited for the Texas and Texas A&M rivalry week game. That game is finally back. They haven't played each other in a while. I've been very excited for it. I think if Texas A&M wins this game, which they very well could, like I said, this is the toughest game for me to pick, so I could see it going either way. I'm excited to watch it. But it would be kind of cool to see A&M win this and have that, revamped rivalry mean even more with a top 10 matchup between Texas and Texas A&M. Possibly winner goes to the playoff, loser goes back in. So I'm part of me wants A&M to win this, but I think LSU is going to. But
Plus,
look,
they're
it could
both
go either way.
they're both undefeated in SEC play too. So like this is just
Yeah.
it's a very hard game to choose who is going to come out on top, and we'll see. It's
Yeah.
going to be it'll be definitely. I think it's definitely one of the top games of the day for sure, and because obviously they do have the prime time slot of 6:30, but it'll be
It's
fun
the
to
game
watch.
of the day. Yeah. So next, these two teams absolutely hate each other. Um, Michigan State travels to the Big House to play Michigan. We've seen some crazy ones in this series. Michigan's not having the most ideal Michigan season at following a national championship, but I still think they're the better team in the state of Michigan. I think um, they're going to do enough to win this game. I think 4.5 is a good spread because I don't think either team's going to blow out the other. But I think Michigan's got enough talent and is going to do just enough to get the win here. So I think Michigan's going to win in a close one over Michigan State.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan State's going to the Big House. I actually got to give myself a tour of the Big House, and I thought it was pretty neat. And I got to meet all the coaches and there for baseball and stuff. So I think it was a big house. It was definitely different, especially being compared to like Knoxville and Neyland. It was more like a bowl than it was built up. So it was definitely a different design of everything. But I think I'm gonna roll with Michigan. I had Michigan State on here, but thinking about it, 6:30 in the Big House, that place is gonna be rocking because, like you said, these two schools are in-state rivalries, and so I think I'm gonna go with the Wolverines on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to follow you guys and go with Michigan on that. Like it going into a tough environment like that, even though that they're not having the best season that they were expecting to have after winning a national championship, it's still it these two teams, they play each other hard every single year, and it's just I feel like Michigan's going to defend their home turf against Michigan State, so it'll go Big House, man. It'll get you.
Alright, well, boys, those were our picks. Y'all ready to go on to the NFL?
Let's get it.
Let's roll.
Alright, I'm gonna go a little off script here and just get a few things that happened throughout the week off my chest to start this NFL thing. So we got some new quarterbacks starting around the league this week. Some not new, but some different starters from the past few weeks. So obviously we saw what happened to Deshaun Watson. Jameis is going to be starting for the Browns this week. I think that's going to completely change how that offense looks for the better, in my opinion. I think Jameis should have been starting a few weeks ago, but obviously for unfortunate reasons, he is now forced to be the starter. But I think that's going to help the Browns out. Um, that's one of the big things. I don't know if y'all want any
Well, Dylan,
add anything
you
else
also,
down
you also
there.
got to think too. We've been wanting Jameis to start. Like me and you have been big Jameis
That's what it
Winston
says.
fans. Like we've
Yeah.
we've been wanting him to have this opportunity, and I feel like that change of morale in the locker room would be because like not saying that there's anything against Deshaun and what he did, and like, but you could just tell that like there was almost like this type of like we've given up with him,
Yeah.
and now like you bring in Jameis, who is known to be that leader in the locker room and be that true. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win this game for us, and it'll be exciting to watch it. But
Hot take on that. Jameis Winston and Baker Mayfield are in the same situation, just Baker's a little more talented. Say that they have the same leadership qualities, they have the same energy to the team, like are in the exact same situation. They're just Baker's a little more talented. Is that a hard take there, or is that somewhat of a
Um.
on spot?
Well, I want to say that I'm gonna answer that. I just want to say this before it leaves my mind. Y'all know who my favorite team is. Jameis is my favorite player that's not on my favorite team. I love Jameis to death. His personality. It's just it just is contagious. Love him to death. I don't think the talent's ever been Jameis's problem. I think it's always been up here with his decision making. Obviously, like we saw him put up the first 30-30 season, 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. The man had LASIK eye surgery. Looked really, really good with the Saints before he got hurt. Um, I mean, people forget Jameis is a national champion quarterback in college and a Heisman winner. Um, you know, he's won on the biggest stage in college, and I think, he's still a very talented quarterback. He's just had some unfortunate injuries since leaving the Buccaneers himself. As, they were both number one overall picks, so they're obviously Baker and Jameis. They're very talented. Um, I don't think talent's really the argument. I do think that the Buccaneers as a whole is a lot better situation now than what Jameis had when Jameis joined, because Baker joined the post Tom Brady Buccaneers, whereas Jameis was on the worst team in football Buccaneers. Um, I don't really know if I'm answering your question correctly, but I don't think talent's really. It's hard to kind of gauge. I mean, y'all know how I feel about Baker Mayfield too, and how I think he is this year. But as of right now, yes, I think Baker's more talented, but I don't think Jameis has ever had a talent problem, because he's gifted in his own ways. So,
I think he just
uh,
I think he just
yeah,
he just needed to be smarter with the football. Like it just and we saw that he could be really good, especially when he was with New Orleans. Like I think yeah, like Dylan, like you said, it's not. I don't think it's a talent thing. I think it was just more of the decision making and what was going on in his head.
yeah. But yeah. So that's the first one.
Just want to
Another
give a
one over
pause
in.
update.
Oh,
The game one of the World Series scores 0-0 through 3 innings. So Tawny just got struck out by Garrett Cole in the third.
love to hear that, Jacob. Yeah, keep bringing those along the way. Another big quarterback change. Bryce Young is getting put back into the starting lineup. He's starting QB1 tomorrow or Sunday. So that's again, y'all know how I felt about that situation. I don't think he should have ever been benched. We'll get to see how this could have affected his confidence, or you know spark a fire under him. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I think they're still probably the I don't want to say the worst team in football, because there's a few in contention there, but it's kind of hard to tell yet who is the worst out of the worst. But we'll see. I don't think that team's not going to win a whole lot of games, no matter who's at quarterback. So that's why I think they should have never switched from their, you know, first overall pick QB from just a year ago so soon. So that's going to be interesting. And then Jacob, you reminded, or you didn't remind us, you informed us both of the other one is Tua's back. So
Yeah.
Dolphins finally get their QB1 back. We'll see. Hopefully Tua's the same. Hopefully he doesn't get any more concussions over there because it's just scary at this point. Every time he gets hit, I'm sure everyone's going to be holding their breath. But that offense is completely different and for the better when he's out there on the football field. So glad to have him back and
Yeah,
hopefully he
I
stays
want to
healthy.
ask a question, see what y'all's opinion is on it. At what point in the man's career does it do you just tell him to stop playing?
I I feel as if he takes another big shot, like not necessarily getting a concussion, but
Like
to the
he's had almost
okay, well, JP just stopped talking. I was going to give you the
hold on,
floor. What were you going to say, buddy?
hold on.
All right. Well, while you're looking that up, I'll finish what I was saying. I feel like to answer your question, JP, I feel like if it doesn't necessarily have to be a concussion, but I feel like if he takes another big hit to the head neck area and he starts to show signs of not being able to do it, I feel like at that point, that's when it becomes like, okay, like, hey, you're not the same as what you were, and we need to we want you to not be somebody who has to deal with this permanently and have to live your the rest of your life with it. So I think it's going to be a it's going to be like a very touch and feel situation. Like it's all based off what he how he feels, and if he starts to feel anything, then
Yeah, I personally actually think that he should have, no one would have blamed him, two concussions ago
yeah,
if he decided that that was enough for him. I think this last one should have been his last concussion, but I respect. I mean, he was in a press conference the other day, and he basically was like, essentially, he said, if you love something enough, like I'm gonna die doing it, and I respect it honestly. I mean, he loves football enough that he's willing to go out there and continually put his life on the line. I mean, I kind of respect it, but at the same time, everyone's on their own with that. They make your own decisions, but I don't, like I said, I don't think anyone would have blamed him, but you know, he's passionate and cares enough about the game. He wants to play until I think someone's gonna literally have to tell him, no, you're you can't play anymore, for him to stop. So I don't know, but hopefully it never happens again, and then he's just gets to play good football. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, if I for in my instance here, I feel like it's got to be the point where you got to look for the man's health. I mean,
yeah,
you could look back at some of these players, even Jason Kelsey. He's starting to see symptoms of CTE. So like, at what point? I guess my thing was is like, at what point do you just tell him you got to stop?
yeah,
And so, I feel like for his health and going and with him being what is he like 26, 27. Like
yeah, something like that.
he's still got he's still got the rest of his life to live, and he's issues with his brain. So I don't know.
It also just goes back to the point of like like Dylan said, like he's ultimately it's up to him. I think that he should have hung it up, but just because like it just seems to be every single year, it's always oh well, Tua's out with another concussion, and it's like there does come a point where there enough is enough. Like hey, you like you are going to have to take a step back, and or you're going to be dealing with this for a very long time.
yeah. Well,
Yeah. I
um,
mean, every time I see that man play, though, I always look back and I see that game when he was playing in Cincinnati, and he literally laid dead. It looked like on the field. like did not move. Literally, his whole body was in a pretzel.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. Every time I see that or see him on the field, I think of that game. It's like, oh Lord.
Yeah. Well, boys, we got some games to pick. We're also going to talk about, well, one of our favorite teams is in the games that we're going to pick, but the other two we're just going to briefly touch on what we want to see and everything. But the first game we're picking between, we got the Eagles and the Bengals. And boys, I'm just going to kick it off. I think both of these teams are a little disappointed with so far with how this season's gone. But I don't know. I think the Eagles are going to turn it around a little bit. I like the Eagles' chances, and that's just I'm picking the Eagles. I don't really have any rhyme or reason. I'm just gonna go with the Eagles.
I
I mean, this game's a toss up. So I haven't liked the Eagles all year. They've looked pretty bad all year, and I think Joe Burrow has definitely helped the Bengals offense here, and they just haven't found a way to win. But I think with last week's game, they found a way to win against the Browns, even though it was a very low scoring game. So I'm gonna go with the Bengals on this one.
All right.
I just this game it's like it's a hard pick because both teams have been struggling in their own way. Like you saw last week, what the Eagles could be if they with Saquon rushing like what he did, and Joe Burrow's been playing. I mean, he's been playing really, really, really good, and it just seems like they are always that one more drive short of, or one little mistake of falling short of winning those games. Um, I think this is gonna be a close game. I believe that the Bengals are gonna win it though. I think that the like JP said, the win last week against the Browns, even though it wasn't an immaculate game, they still found that way to win, and I think that they're just going to continue to build off that because the Bengals every year, they always have that slow start, but then sort of through the midway of the season and after a couple weeks of struggling, they seem to pick their find their groove and get going.
All right. Well, next one. It's a big rivalry in the NFL world. The Cowboys and the 49ers. Historic rivalry. Um, 49ers healthiest receiver is a guy that just got shot in the chest a couple months ago, so I think that's gonna make a difference in this game. I for that reason alone, I think Brock Purdy's gonna have a hard time getting the offense going when there's not really much of an offense left out there. So I'm gonna go with the Cowboys.
I would I would like to
Brock
see the
Purdy.
I would like to see the Cowboys win just because like they I don't know, once again both teams are struggling in their own way, and it's the 49ers are dealing with the injury bug. um the Cowboys have had their fair share of injury bug going on, and it's just I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. it, Plain and simple. I think Dak and CD are just gonna finally find that connection and really just take advantage of going into San Francisco and playing against a hurt 49ers team.
Yeah, I think we're gonna clean sweep this one on the Cowboys. I think the 49ers have just too many guys out to do damage against the Cowboys. Cowboys defense looks horrendous, but they still you still need to put up points in my opinion to win this game. And so I like the Cowboys in this. It's going to be an ugly one.
All
And
right, sounds good. Tyler,
Boys, it's the best game of the week in my opinion. The Bears are going to play the Commanders.
Is Jaden Daniels back? Is he playing?
Last time I saw, he was still
He's still
questionable.
this week.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, this would be the #1 versus #2 pick from this past draft. Would make it more exciting. I don't think it really matters. I mean, I think the Commanders are overachieving. Bears kind of had more of an established team. Um, if I love Marcus Mariota too, but especially if Jaden Daniels isn't playing, I think the Bears come out with this one. I think even if Jaden Daniels is playing, that Bears has that defense is good. Talked about it. I see the Bears winning this one.
Yes, sir. Well, JP, you already know who I'm going to pick, buddy. Let's just go ahead and put that down. Um, the Bears, I will say the Bears have not played a very strong schedule so far, but it's just continuing to see that Caleb Williams is just building week after week after week after week, and he is continuing to impress a lot of people and say because like the first couple of weeks, like I was a hater for the first couple of weeks too, because it was like it wasn't like he could find his groove and he couldn't
You've
get
been a hater since the draft.
I've been a hater since the draft, but it's a whole different ball game. But the Commanders, if Jaden, like Dylan said, like if Jaden Daniels still playing, like the Bears defense is they're good. Like it's not like they're giving up 40 points a game, and it's gonna be hard with especially if Mariota's playing too. I mean he played really well last week, but I think the Bears are just gonna continue to build on what they already shown, even though they haven't played those like they they have the Lions and the Vikings in that division, and so they're gonna have to continue to use these games as a we're gonna get ready for division play, and it'll be. I'm hoping I get to watch this game.
Alright,
It'll be fun to watch.
Jacob.
I think I'm about to roll with the Commanders here. I think Jaden Daniels, even if he is hurt, um, I think he's just a very skilled guy. He's very hard to guard, in my opinion. And so I think he'll be a little bit more of a challenge for the Bears defense, in my opinion, on this one, just because he's accurate with the football. He doesn't turn the ball over. And I think that's what the key component has been for the Bears defense this season. Two dorks. And so I think that's what's going to be the key component here. I think if he does play, I think that'll be the separator between this game and the Commanders win it.
Alright,
I think JP just chose the Commanders because he's still butthurt that the Bears beat the Jags. I think that's what it is.
No, I'm just choosing the better team here.
Well,
As our picks are definitely showing that.
it's okay. Okay, this week is going to change that.
well, I'm gonna make my next selection with a smile on my face, just the rest of the way, because I think the Bills, they just added Amari Cooper to this team, this already good Bills team. I think that's just gonna help them out even more. Seahawks, they're not I think they're the most fraudulent team that has a good record in the NFL. I don't think they're a very good team, and I, I think the Bills are gonna do what the Bills have been doing all year, and they're just gonna come out here and they're gonna roll straight through the Seahawks.
I will say,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to back you up.
go ahead, JP. I'm sorry. I'll add that. I'll add what I was saying at the end. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'll back you up on that one, Dylan. I think the Bills will win this one. They haven't looked good offensively, but Seahawks haven't looked great either. So I think it's going to be a low scoring game, but I think the Bills' defense will be the deciding factor for this one.
I will say before we go on to the next game, the Bills are only favored by 3 in this game.
Right. Yeah.
So
I think it's gonna be it's not gonna be close.
no. I hope not. I hope the Bills are go into Seattle and take care of business like they should,
Yeah.
and especially because adding Amari Cooper to that receiving core, like it's just the Bills are good. Like they have a good team, and I think everybody kind of when they got rid of Stephon Diggs, everybody was like, oh yeah, like the Bills are going to suck now, but they're proving that hey, like we don't need just one guy. Like it's a very team oriented thing in Buffalo right now, and
Yeah.
yeah,
All right. Well, our last game for the NFL that we're picking between Steelers and Giants. I'm just gonna go ahead and start us off with this one. I think this, in my opinion, this is an easy game to pick. But Steelers have a really good defense, and I think they've also shown they proved me wrong. I guess it doesn't matter who plays quarterback for them; they're able to win, put up pretty good numbers offensively. I think they're going to do it against the Giants again. I think the Steelers are going to roll through this one. All right, Tyler, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
Or
Steelers.
Jacob, yeah, you go.
I think the Steelers are going to win this one pretty easily. I think the Giants' offense hasn't been great all season, even though they haven't turned the ball over a lot. But I think the Steelers win this one pretty convincingly with the defense shutting the Giants out, in my opinion. I think they might even get a shutout this game.
All right.
I'm gonna go with the Steelers as well, just because like you look at what Russ did last week, and I mean Justin Fields, you have him as well. So like if something were to go wrong, like you still have a quarterback that is competent back there. Um, I think the Steelers will win this one by quite a bit, and the Giants are just not saying the Giants aren't good, but the Steelers should just go in there and handle business like we all think that they should.
Sounds good. All right, well, those are our picks. Boys, you ready for your weekly Titans rant?
Let's roll with it,
Let's get
Dylan.
it.
All right, so first of all, Titans, I think they officially decided, without stating it, what they think about Will Levis. The ball got rolling with trading DeAndre Hopkins. If you're still trying to figure out if Will Levis is your guy, I don't think you make that trade. I think they know. Um, they know. You, I don't care. I mean, for a fifth round pick, especially, um, conditional fifth round pick. So, like I just said, if you're still waiting to find out if Will Levis is your guy, you want to keep the best possible receivers around him, just in case, to give him a better opportunity. But they kind of went into full tank mode and rebuild mode. So, like I said, they traded DeAndre Hopkins to the Kansas City Chiefs for a conditional fifth round pick. Now, the conditions, if y'all weren't aware, one, the Chiefs have to make a Super Bowl this year, and two, DeAndre Hopkins has to play at least 60% of the snaps the remainder of the season for that pick to turn into a fourth round pick. Obviously, if they make the Super Bowl and it turns into a fourth round pick, that would be a very end of the fourth round pick. So it's basically a fifth rounder either way. It's just the difference in the end of the fifth or the end of the fourth. So I guess Titans fans, you should be hoping that the Chiefs have a good season. Um, but that's not the only trade the Titans made this week. They traded their newly acquired star linebacker, only 24 years old, was on the Rams Super Bowl winning team. He was our best linebacker this year. They just traded for him, like I said, right before the season started. They gave up a 2026 fifth round pick for Ernest Jones and a sixth round pick from the Seahawks. GM Rand Carthon just flipped him, traded him to. I said Seahawks. I'm sorry. They traded for him from the Rams. They just traded him to the Seahawks for Jerome Baker and a fourth round pick. So gave up a future fifth, gained a sixth, and Ernest. Now you trade Ernest for a fourth and another linebacker that a lot of fans, a lot of Titans fans wanted anyways. They wanted Jerome Baker, but he signed with the Seahawks. We traded for Ernest. Now we get Jerome anyways. Jerome's a coverage linebacker. Ernest is more of just a go get the tackle, blitzing linebacker. So a little bit different pace. I think the Titans kind of needed more of a pass coverage linebacker, so this may help the Titans a little bit. And like I just said, you you flipped a fifth round pick into a fourth, a sixth, and a Jerome Baker, so you can't complain with that one bit. But that being said, like I said last week, it's mock draft season. I think the Titans just kind of made that even more so. They're tanking, and this Lions game this weekend, boys. I'm watching it because I love my Titans. I love my tits. They're gonna get smoked by the Lions. The fun fact: the Titans have never lost to the Lions since they became the Tennessee Titans. Yep, that's changing. That's not gonna stay a thing after this weekend. The Lions are just gonna dismantle us. And for our fantasy football fans out there, one thing that's worked for me real well in my redraft leagues is I've been picking up whoever's defense plays the Titans. That's the defense I pick up in fantasy football. So that's my little fun fact tip of the day. If you play fantasy, that's what I would do. Works well for me.
Playing the Lions.
Should work well for you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they're just gonna lose. The only thing I really want to see from them at this point is get your younger guys reps, see what they've got. Hopefully they show potential. Still, if Will Levis is healthy, he needs to play. One, because I think that's going to help your tank cause. Two, maybe he figures something out. One of those things is going to happen, and I think either one of those is good. That's a win-win scenario. You either keep losing and have a really good pick for next year, or Will Levis figures it out, and you don't need another quarterback if he figures it out. So, win-win. So you better play it at that point. But I'm not going to add anything else. Like I said, for college, I'm going to be watching Miami and Colorado the rest of the year to find out if I, as a fan, want Cam Ward or Shadur Sanders more. Because at this point, I think the Titans are steamrolling straight to a top 3 pick in this draft. So that's all for that one. Jacob, your Jags, they play the Packers. I think it's kind of similar fate for you boys. I think the Packers are going to run through the Jags.
Yeah, I think I think they will. I think Packers are going to be too much, even though they did have a very good showing last week against a really poor Patriots team. And so Jacksonville's just got a lot of issues right now, and they kind of just they are going to fight just because it's just some of the guys on the team that want to play. But at the same time, it's like, do you start making that decision? Okay, do we need to make or start making looks towards that draft? And so they're kind of in that middle ground. And I don't know. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered throughout the season, whether that's coaching staff, draft picks, players, and so there's just a lot of issues right now. And so, unfortunately, for me being a fan of them, I don't have those answers either. And so I think it's just going to have to wait and see how the season plays out and see what happens.
Well, I'm pulling for the Jags this weekend, JP, because I really need the Packers to lose. So
you really hate those cheeseheads, don't you?
I do, buddy. I know it's not going to happen, and I don't want to put my faith in something that's not going to happen. But come on, Jags.
It can happen. I mean, I actually want the Jags to win too, because that means the Jags are better and they'll beat the Titans twice, and that's what I want at this point. You know, like I said, I want the Titans to lose with the young players looking promising and everything at this point. I mean, like I said, it's obviously great if Will Levis figures it out and turns it around, because that makes it a lot easier in the future, but I don't think it's going to happen. So at this point in time, I think a lot of Titans fans are already just hoping for the worst, so we get a promising quarterback in this draft. So, but yeah, so I hope the Jags win, so it makes them look a little bit better. But boys, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap this up? I think I'm good. But
I'm just glad Tennessee's on a bye.
Hey, they don't get any worse this week, buddy.
Oh, that's not true. They could be worse.
I'm just hoping that Tennessee doesn't pull the same thing that they did when they won against Oklahoma and then went on a bye. So It'll be interesting to see. But other than that, go Bears. And you guys got anything else you want to add?
Nope.
The World Series game's still 0-0 in the bottom of the fifth.
Go Dodgers. Don't give me that stank look, Dylan.
That's crazy considering you got a Cubs thing up on the back.
Exactly. I mean, just cheering for the NL.
They're in the NL. You gotta root for your same division.
Jesus,
Yeah,
you're those guys.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I could care less who wins this World Series. I hope it's the Dodgers. I don't know. I just hope it's the Dodgers.
Well, I hope you're wrong. At this point. I think the Yankees, as long as they can control Shohei Ohtani, they'll be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, it's fun. It'll be fun to watch because both those lineups are very, very stout. So, well, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you drop us a like and a subscribe so that we can keep doing this for you guys. And we will see you back on Tuesday. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you, everybody.
Peace.
Oh, well, you said that way late.
Ah!
Oh, those are really cute.
I said what?